Now this is one of these, man up channels disguised as an idea channel. Life as a quest, the antidote to wasted existence. Now, come on. How many people live their life as a quest? Period. And of course, this guy is only talking to 50% of the audience, population anyway. Women do not ever live their lives as a quest. So we'll hear what this guy has to say. Come on, let's get you going.
Adventure shatters the oppressive, insistent reality as if it were a piece of glass. It is the unforeseen, the unthought of, the new. Each adventure is a new birth of the world, a unique process. How can it fail to be interesting? As creatures of habit, we derive comfort from our well-established routines. Our routines help us impose order on an unpredictable environment, and good habits repeated daily are one of the keys to success in life and career. But for some of us, our habits and routines are not the promoter of a great life, but instead are webs of thought and behavior that imprison us and limit our potential. And so,
okay, this guy talking about life as a quest. What's he doing to quest? What are you doing, pal? You are trying to gain status by sitting at home on your computer and making videos. No, I have nothing wrong with that per se, because that's what I'm doing. But I have no, false ideas that I'm going to go out into quest any more than you are. And neither are you. You are not going out to quest anywhere because it's uncomfortable. It's risky. You don't know what's going to happen. When you fail, it's not an adventure. It's a tragedy. And people don't they don't go on a quest to do good. They go on a quest, men quest, in order to gain status. That's what they do.
So the thought of them can elicit feelings of futility and dread. There are many, lucky or unlucky, for whom the course of their lives shows little or no departure from these well-ordered routines. As comforting as this may seem, in the end, it is also an unspeakable horror, or as Jose Ortega y Gasset echoed, soon after we begin living, we become aware of the confines of our prison. It takes us 30 years at the most to recognize the limits within which our possibilities will move. We take stock of reality, which is like measuring the length of the chain which binds our feet. Then we say, is this life? Nothing more than this? A closed cycle which is repeated, always identical? This is a dangerous hour for every man.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, life is routine. You're the type of guy who says, people should grow up or man up or whatever. This is part of becoming an adult, realizing that you're going to die and that life is not fresh after you reach 20, 30 years. And also, these guys who, when they reach 30, they're also finding out how much status they can gain, how popular they're going to be, how important they're going to be in society. They reach limitations. They're one of the masses and they can't stand it. Where danger lies also grows the saving power. Pal, if this is so great, how come no woman goes for it? How come they live their life? Like, if you were honest and this is what you believed, you'd be calling women pieces of garbage because they never do this. You know why? Because men aren't brave by nature. They only do this stuff to gain status. Women don't need status like men do. They might like it, but they don't need it to get by. They don't question, who am I? What do I have to do to gain more status? Because they're going to have a husband if they want one.
If the monotony of our days has become a practice in futility, it is a good sign we need to take measures to introduce more novelty into our life. For given that death is coming no matter what we choose to do, is it not better to burn out in an exciting life than to fade away in monotony and boredom? I would rather be
People choose it, don't they? I would rather be ashes than dust. I mean, this is so much horseshit. Why the guy who wrote this probably didn't go out and get himself killed. He probably wrote more and more and lived his pampered life. My God.
Coyote, the main character of one of the greatest tales ever told, and instead of acquiescing to a repetitive existence to structure our life as a quest, Don Quixote, wrote Schopenhauer, is an allegory of the life of every man who, unlike others, pursues an objective, ideal end that has taken possession of his thinking and willing. And then, of course, he stands out as an oddity in this world. In seeing our life as
Yeah, okay. Why aren't you, speaker, doing what Don Quixote does? If you do you believe in it, either you should be saying everything here is horseshit, or you should be following this example. Take your channel down, get off your ass, go out and do something dangerous but exciting. Oh my God. But you're not going to do that. So either this is full of crap, or you admit you're a man who's chosen to go and dry rot instead of living an exciting life. Admit it.
boldness is in part promoted by the act of becoming more childlike, by regaining our capacity for wonder, curiosity, and most importantly, play. Those who approach life like a child playing a game, said Heraclitus, moving and pushing pieces, possess the power of kings.
Hold it now. That would be Peter Pan syndrome to guys like you. You know, this is all good, but when a man actually does this, guys like you would spit on them and say they're not maturing, they're stuck in the phase. And I'm going to prove it. I'm going to bring up another video of yours. All right, here we go. Here's another video of yours, Academy of Ideas. This is called Carl Jung and the Psychology of the Man-Child. Let's take a look at this.
Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. Marie-Louise.
You mean like you? You are living a nice, safe, easy existence just like I do. And so you must be one of these people who are a man-child.
Von Franz, a Swiss psychologist, noticed a disturbing trend in the mid-20th century. Many men and women who were well into their adult years remained psychologically stunted in their maturation. They occupied the bodies of adults, but their mental development failed to keep pace.
Yeah, like in the mid-19th, what is it? Once the Industrial Revolution came along, people had easier lives, didn't have to live in complete drudgery. That's all maturity means to these people, working until you drop.
Von Franz saw this as such a pressing issue that in 1959 she gave a series of lectures on the psychology of the puer aeternus, which is Latin for eternal child. While originally this term was used in mythology to refer to a child god who remains forever.
Hold on, did you say she? Oh my God. So a woman is, I bet she's only talking about our sex there. Idea of, what's your name again? Academy of Ideas. I bet she's going to really focus on the guys.
Young, her teacher Carl Jung had adopted the term for psychological purposes to describe the individual who, like Peter Pan, fails to grow up. In one of her lectures, von Franz describes the puer aeternus as the individual who remains too long in adolescent psychology. That is, all those characteristics that are normal in a youth of 17 or 18 are continued into later life, coupled in most cases with too great a dependence on the mother.
Yeah, these guys, and you're talking to guys, she's talking to guys, they're not going out, taking great risk, living miserable lives just to say that they are independent. A lot of people in the past would live with their parents. The parents wanted them there because the parents wanted them to stay there and look after them in their old age. And that's why they were there, and they wanted them there. So you want guys to what? Leave home as early as possible and take chances for what? There's zero gain for modern men to do that.
Von Franz predicted that in the coming decades, what she called the problem of the pure eternus would spread across the world and affect more and more individuals. Her predictions have proven remarkably accurate, especially among the male population of the Western world.
There you go.
Many young
There you go. It's the male population you're concerned with. And I disagree. It's not especially men at all. It's equally men and women. It's just that the women, by what was the Academy of Ideas, are given a pass because women have always been dependent on men. They always let the men take charge so they could be dependent. They want their dependency. And so when a woman wants to say, I don't need no man when she has an easy life, I mean, that's okay with guys like you. But these women can also stay at home with their parents. They can be, what they can do is they get married to a guy. And so instead of having mommy and daddy look after her, she's got a new daddy looking after her. She's got her husband who's a sucker. He's one who has to grow up and she can remain a child. And that's why it's always been. All these women that you say, oh, were in the past that were growing up or mature. I mean, they were only mature because they had to be. And even then, they were still depending on a man. They didn't go off and build their own huts and live on their own. This is pathetic beyond belief.
men are struggling academically, socially, spiritually, financially, and sexually. They are living at home into their late 20s and 30s, choosing to remain in the comfort.
Yeah, sexually, you know what? Women want a leech off a guy. So they don't want a guy because she doesn't love him for himself. She wants him to build up equity, to build up resources so she can leech off him. What man with self-respect would want that? Most men have no self-respect, obviously, because they want that.
Confines of their parents' care, rather than testing the unknown waters of independence. Instead of striving to
Hold it
create
now, like if I've been in a case where when I was very young, I was living with my parents and I had a job and we pooled our money together and we had lots more money over it. That's a big advantage for everybody. You know, so what's the point of leaving your home and having the parents' income shrink because they're just on their own and your income all by itself? So you're trying to keep two homes going. You know, if you get along with your parents and you like them and you don't have some woman leeching off you, why would you leave? Why would you leave? Everyone's happier that you get along with them. They get along with you. There's more money coming in. There's nothing wrong with this lifestyle. I don't know what you're talking about.
something of themselves, many prefer the familiar and comfortable virtual worlds of internet pornography and video games. They are passive.
Okay, now, has this anything to do with Carl Jung anymore? Guys play video games because they love video games. What you, Academy of Ideas, what you want is men to sacrifice all joys so that all they're doing is laboring and paying for someone else. And meantime, what are you doing? You're making videos. So you hopefully can have someone, you know, so you can have an easy time, you know, and an easy life. There's your Bitcoin and your Patreon, your PayPal. Exactly. You want an easy lifestyle. You are not an adventurer. You are just as much of a man-child as the guys you are talking about. Guys like you are an embarrassment because you're hypocrites. And this is as far as I need to go with these videos of yours. Your videos, your channel is a man-up channel. It's not, has nothing to do with ideas whatsoever. It's a man-up channel. And guys need to dump guys like you as fast as possible. Thank you. Oh, by the way, before I go, look at the disgusting comments here. Look at them. Let's see if we can find some. Kierkegaard. Let's see. I want to show some of these to you. I blame single mothers and feminist movement. The average woman on the street didn't want to be married to a man forever. These did nothing. As soon as technology came, they had the ability to dump men. That's it. It's called the U.S. Marine Corps. Yeah, get at guys like this. That's really independent, by the way. Going to some place where they tell you when you can take a piss. That's incredible independence. All it is abuse. You go and you go through your hazing and you're told what to do like a little boy, and hopefully you get out after a while. None of these guys want to stay there, by the way. There's very few people who make a career out of it. Matter of fact, the ones that do are usually officers that don't have to go through all the shit that the non-commissioned officers take. Most of these guys like this, they get in, if they do go, and they stay as short as time as possible, get the hell out of there. So, mothers stop teaching their children. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what schools are for. Yet mothers have been replaced to be without men, therefore back full circle. No, they haven't been replaced. The mothers kicked them fathers out because they didn't want them there. No, video creator does not acknowledge the role of the state financer, Cheryl. See, more scapegoating. This is the self-loathing garbage. I like this guy, Ojo Rojo. He's, a light in the darkness. Yeah, what if the economic system has me broke as fuck and I can't get out of my parents' house because of a $45K student loan? That's actually a very good question. Now, this is what I want to show you. Mind to reply? Thanks. He's talking directly to Academy of Ideas. And that's 11 months ago. This guy, Academy Idea, this shyster, has nothing to say to this guy. Nothing. Because it goes against his narrative. Messiah 38 has a bunch of great. It's like, why join the U.S. Army Corps when you can just be a pirate? He just put it in a nutshell. And this is what the comment section are just full of self-loathing guys who really come right out and just say, what's stunting our growth is that we don't have enough money. Can't bribe that woman into their life without money. So I'll end it here.